This conference will now be recorded.
There you go.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. Well, time being 4:45, I'd like to call this meeting of March 5th, 2026 to order. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, I guess we'll start with the review of the minutes from February 19th.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to accept the minutes of February 19th as presented.
I have one tiny on page 3 at the bottom, last paragraph, first sentence. It should be select men, plural, not man. So that's just a spelling.
Well, we can make a correction on that. Yep.
I don't
We
think
won't
needs to
send
hold
it
the
back.
minutes up.
Yep.
All right.
And who seconded that?
I did.
Okay. All right.
Any
We
other
need to do a
discussion?
roll call.
Oh, roll call because he's up there.
Yep.
Yep. Constantino, second.
Hanson, yes.
Jessamine, yes.
Dustin, yes.
Adams, yes.
Constantino, yes.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
We have a couple announcements. Application for elderly or veterans credits are due in the Selectmen's office by April 15th. These forms can be found on our website. The abatement deadline was March 1st, and as this date has passed, we can no longer accept any abatement applications. The town warrant article voting will take place on Tuesday, March 10th, 2026 at Winnisquam High School. Polls open at 7 a.m. Our town meeting will be held in the same location on Saturday, March 14th, beginning at 8 a.m. Roads with weight limits on them shall have these limits posted by March 9th. And we have a donation to report, $100 from Tracy Sullivan to the Senior Center after a marriage ceremony was performed at Town Hall.
Make a motion, we accept the donation for the senior center and thank Kim for that, or Becky, whoever did them.
Jessamine, second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Constantino,
Still roll
yes.
call.
Yep.
Yeah. Jessamine, yes.
Hanson, yes.
Adams, yes.
Okay,
Perfect.
great. We're a little early. Tim, do you want to go up with finance update?
That being early.
That's right.
For the record.
We'll move right along.
So if you turn to the finance tab in your binders, or Eric, my report, the first item, before I get into the first item, the senior center item, I just want to say that all the town reports were available in town hall as of Tuesday, which was the statutory requirement. We actually received them the Friday before. There are half that have black spines and half that have white spines. There is no difference in the content of any of the reports, in case anybody asks. And I just want to take a moment and give a hearty thanks to Amy Despins, who, whenever she touches anything within town hall, this annual report included, she just does a phenomenal job, is super with follow-up and chasing people for their reports and getting things so that we can make it the most efficient process possible. So kudos to Amy for all of her hard work. So
Thank you, Amy.
Yes.
Thank you, Amy. Yeah, here.
so the item number one is regarding the senior center, some repairs that were done at the senior center for frozen pipes. We had to call a plumbing company to come out and to thaw them. And then also they did a number of services, including closing up some gaps underneath with spray foam installation. And then they installed heat tape. As you know, we've had a lot of cold weather, very cold weather this winter. And these repairs in total, including the installation work that they did and the service work, was a total of $2,107.80. The Senior Center Executive Committee met and they voted to request the Board of Selectmen remove that same amount of money from the Senior Center Expendable Trust Fund to cover that work. And we have a total of $7,845 in that expendable trust fund. And so I did provide a motion, if the board is in agreement, to do that in my report.
Mr. Chair, make a motion that we approve the Senior Center Executive Committee's request and authorize payment of $2,107.80 from the Senior Center Expendable Trust Fund to cover service and installation work performed by 603 Plumbing.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Yep, I do have quick question. Pat, do you think this is going to be something that will, the repairs that they're doing by putting the heat tape around the pipes and stuff, do you think that is going to mitigate some of the issues that we've had in the past? Or do you think that this will be something that will be continuing to ongo? Like, because I know that we had spoken, you had issues in regards to the pipes freezing and whatnot. Do you think this will kind of solve that problem?
I'm hoping that this will solve the problem. In the years past, we've had frozen pipes and, every year John Scanlon would crawl underneath and spray foam all the open spaces that have blown open through the foundation and stuff. And then try to insulate the pipes as best he could. 603 Plumbing went in and actually put heat tape on them, insulated the pipes, and did a lot of long-term solution for us. And I'm hoping that that will be, again, a long-term solution, that we won't have to do anything and it will come on automatically. We don't have to remember to do a switch or anything. It just comes on automatically now.
Oh, good.
So
Okay.
we
Yeah.
don't have to remember to do it.
I can add that there were a couple of pipes that they were not able to insulate the way they wanted to, and they were hoping to come back at some point during the summer when they were dry or more accessible. I'm not sure which, but to finish up some of that, to make it, that much more secure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. I forgot about that part.
Is that part of this 2,100? Or
No,
will they have to charge separate? Okay.
It'll be in addition to.
Okay.
All
All
right,
right,
any other
good.
discussion? All right, roll call.
Constantino, yes?
Hanson, yes.
Jessamine, yes.
Dawson, yes.
Adams, yes.
Okay, great. So the big item I wanted to cover tonight was regarding the legislative session. So I have updated, and this is should be the first thing in your binder under finance, and this this has all the information, sort of the backup information, if you will, for the warrant articles. Underneath points to consider, there's some bullet points for the board, whoever is giving that or presenting that warrant article. And of course, I will be there as well, and we'll have additional detail if there are questions, on any of these, and should probably be able to answer anything. I think the only question that had not been resolved was, and maybe it was, and I just didn't make a note of it, but at one point, it was undetermined on Article 12. It was either going to be Selectman Dawson or I think Selectman Constantino, and
Oh, no, it was going to be Selectman Dawson.
it was, okay,
Yeah.
and you're good with that? Yeah, okay. All
It's
right.
not like it's going to be contentious.
No, I wouldn't think so. No, I wouldn't think
You
so.
don't take two to have a fight, Kath.
It's kind of
So-
like milfoil.
So in addition to that, I debated whether to put this next document behind it. So the analysis of the municipal growth and staffing costs. So going through the budget process with the budget committee was, as the board knows, a little more rocky this year than some prior years. And the majority of the questions that arose were having to do with salaries and rehiring. And unfortunately, you know, when people look at tables of numbers over the course of many years, they're not seeing the ebb and flow of personnel during those times. They're not seeing how many people we had at this point, who left, who'd we have to hire in for, which ones were vacant. That's not seen. So when you look at one year to another year, you're assuming that those are all the same people that were in place the year prior. And that's not always the case. In fact, that was rarely the case over a period of time. So in this document, and at one point, the chair of the budget committee, Bill Lawrence, had asked, he said, I'd really like to see an analysis of the budget and the staffing levels and you know what things look like and how it's changed, because looking at increased costs, you sort of, it's natural to suspect that that government has just ballooned, or you know it's increasing in certain areas that and not in others, you know, of service related areas. So what I put together was an analysis of this, looking at these years of 2022 through 2025, and then also including 2026 in that. And if you think back to the post-COVID environment, 22 and 23, pardon me, we had a lot of issues with personnel. We were severely short in staff during a majority of those years. And it required rebuilding and hiring into those positions. In fact, we have grown from 26 full-time employees back in 2022 at the end of the year to 31 employees in at the end of 2025, now 32 full-time employees. So if you look at the growth in our budget in 2022, now this is not the overall town budget. This is just the full-time wages. So we report wages to the Social Security Administration for W-2s and that sort of thing. So it's a number that's really easy to get on each year. And in 2022, it was $2,130,378. In 2025, that number was $2,502,000, or an increase of $371,000. It's a 17.5% increase. Of that, however, 274,000 was related to staff increases. So we had a collective bargaining agreement at the time with the police, and there was a final year in 2023, and then we went into a new contract starting in 24. But roughly speaking, 2/3 of that increase over those 4 years was due to cost of living adjustments. The remainder of it was due to new hires, roughly about $100,000 increase in budgeted wages. So not terribly significant when you look at the time frame and over those number of years. The second thing is we went through a period of if you will, market realities and retention. So it was really tough to hire police officers. It was really tough to hire people that had skilled knowledge in public works or in other disciplines within town government. And in fact, of the personnel that were in place in 2021, there are only 2 people that remain working for the town in the PD, and one is our chief. So think about that. From 2021 through 2026, if you look at all the personnel that were there at the PD back then, there's only 2 that remain. So retention is an issue. Of those that were in place in 2023, only 5 remain today. So that's 2 out of 20, or 5 out of 20. So the board had prioritized staffing levels and hiring and giving the chief the tools that he needed to be able to rebuild his department, which he's done. And if you flip the page over, adding the 2026 budget, and you look at the increase of our town budget, not including sewer, just the town budget, from a $5.62 million budget to a $6.52 million budget. It's a 16% increase over the 5 years. Those are 5 years. I have a typo there. And it's approximately 3.8% annual compounded growth rate. So that 3.8% increase over those years is less than the rate of inflation during those years, which I think really speaks volumes about how the board governed during a really challenging time. Another thing to look at is if you take the number of full-time employees and you divide it into the total budget, back in 2022, the average budget per employee, if you consider that to be a metric of efficiency or proportionality, it was $208,114. In 2026, that number, the total proposed town budget for 2026 divided by the full-time employees, is $210,000. It's a 1.1% increase over that time. So in other words, it's remained proportional to our budget. And I think it's really important because there was a lot of discussion in particular about certain leadership positions with the budget committee. And there are going to be anomalies from year to year. It's based on what positions are open, who are the available candidates, and there are going to be fluctuations beyond what you would expect for a normal budget. But the idea that the town has managed a 3.8% increase over that 5-year time frame, year to year, you're going to have those fluctuations. You're going to have those one-offs. You're going to have that spike or that the one coming in under where you were last paying someone. So those things typically even out. But the focus was so great on some of the leadership positions that I thought it was really important to point out that having the right people in place for those positions is the most critical thing, because it impacts operational efficiency, budget effectiveness, and also employee satisfaction. Because if you get the wrong person in place, people are going to get dismayed. They may look for other opportunities elsewhere. And so those are really tough positions to hire for and make sure you got the right person in place. And I think members of this board will remember that over the years, there have been a few, rotten apples in a basket. Doesn't happen often, but it's happened. So it's really critical. So those positions in particular, while they may stand out like a sore thumb at time, looking at a percent increase, you have to look at it overall in a bigger picture. And I think the story that the town has to tell is a really well-managed one, and that shows that the selectmen have been good stewards of the budget. And I think overall, the one question that everything comes down to is, what is the right service level? Because when you look at any kind of budget friction, it's always about, yeah, we could hire more people, but do we need more people? Or, what is the right service level for the town? As long as I've been here, especially with our prior longest serving chief, I always asked him, what's the right model? What does that model look like for a town this size that has this population and this, commercial? And never got to where I was satisfied. But I've learned it's really hard to define those things. And, but it really comes down to what kind of service level do citizens expect and what are they willing to pay for? In Samerton, people don't have curbside collection of trash. Well, that curbside collection, that one truck that's running around town, not talking about getting rid of the trash once we have it, but that truck costs us $223,800 a year to run that truck through the Casella contract. So could we save that amount of money? Of course we could. But then, everyone would be inconvenienced to have to take their trash down to the transfer station in a setup similar to Samberton's, which I personally am not familiar with, but I know they exist across the state. So it comes down to, what do people expect? What are they willing to pay for? And what's reasonable in terms of, that budget. But I think in general, this document helps answer some of the questions that arose from those budget discussions. And I think it gives a bigger perspective in terms of, over that period of time, what was taking place, and also deals with the anomalies of certain positions. So I hope you take the time to read it. It's certainly something I'll be willing to discuss if it comes up at town meeting. And other than that, those are the big things I had in preparation for the meeting.
Thank you. This is very interesting, Tim. Appreciate it. This is a
Yeah.
lot of work.
Yeah, thank you for the time and effort putting this forward.
Appreciate it.
Well, I wish it had been at the top of my head when I was being questioned during the meetings. But sometimes when you're under the gun, those things aren't bubbling up, and you think about it after the fact. But it did make me want to go back and look and see what was actually taking place at the time, and where things were.
Yeah.
Other than that, unless you have something for me, I did put a few other items in my report for you. And other than that, it's 5:06.
Wow.
Mr. Chairman, if I might just add to Tim's comments in his proposal to the board, I think it's really important for our taxpayers to know that, not only there was criticisms about certain, as Tim said, leadership positions and that stuff, which is fine. That's everybody's right to air their opinion. But I think it speaks volumes to the way the board has been consistent and carried themselves, and specifically speaking to the people who elect you folks. I think that, this board should be proud that, you've continued to carry on. I mean, there are times when we haven't agreed on certain things and that stuff, but I really think it speaks, in my opinion, as I told Tim, two parts. One, to his knowledge and his expertise, which when he decides to retire, if we let him, we're gonna be losing a lot there. But two is, it's tough being new members of this board and criticize for whether it's the potholes on such and such a road or anything else. But I think long term, if you read New Hampshire's history on governing, this is a prime example of what governing is all about, and being a good steward of the taxpayers' money. So I just want to throw that in there. Thank you.
Tim, I'm going to ask if you could just kind of cover item number 3 about that, just because of the discrepancy, in case anybody had any questions on that.
So back on, hang on, there's my mic. So going through the audit, and we're not done with the audit for 2025 yet, but during that process, when I was looking at our projected fund balance, I noticed that it was significantly lower than what I would have expected. And I kept looking through it, looking for information as to why that was, if there was something going on with our software or something had been categorized incorrectly, what have you. And in the end, what I determined was there was one number on one state form that was incorrect, that should not have been on the state form, that caused our revenues to be increased by the amount of the bridge grant, and therefore reduce the amount of taxes that we collected by the same amount, thereby affecting our fund balance. Now, the fund balance will shake out. There were, we had other revenues and expenditures during 2025. So I'm not saying that it's a one-for-one match, but the worst case is it would be the entire amount. So in the spring is when we report our expenditures. So once town meeting is over, there's a document that goes to the state that shows everything that was approved by town meeting. And in the spring, while we knew that the grant had been quote unquote approved, we didn't have the money, and we were told, if you remember that time frame, Elon Musk was going through the government looking for savings and trying to find places to hold Doge campaign. And we were told by the Department of the Interior at the time that, well, yeah, you've got a grant, but we'll see. We don't know what's going to happen. And so we sat in that kind of mode for quite a while, and told that while it wouldn't be canceled, it just would never be approved. The worst case we were told by the Department of the Interior was that it would go from the National Park Service up to the people that would approve it within the Department of the Interior, and they would just sit on it. And there's an expiration on the grant itself. So basically it would just die on the vine. And that was what we were told could potentially happen. So therefore, we didn't project any expenditures for the bridge back in that March timeframe, not knowing what the outcome of the Department of the Interior was going to be. Fast forward to the fall when we're doing our revenues, and keep in mind that during the year it was approved. We did manage to get access to the money, and we did start expending money for the bridge and drawing down revenue for the bridge. So we were actively going through this process, and as you know, the bridge was removed, and we spent about $230,000 of the $500,000 on the bridge. So so in the fall, going through the estimated revenues, we had the opportunity to report the bridge revenue. The problem was there wasn't an offsetting expense for the bridge back in the spring. And what that did was that caused our revenues to be inflated by the amount of the bridge revenue, and thereby, if you're familiar with how the taxing works, there's a gross amount of expenditure less your revenues is what the net appropriation is, which is what becomes the tax for the locality. So it in fact artificially reduced that the amount that we appropriated and raised. So in any case, I talked to our financial auditor about it. I talked to our DRA auditor, as it didn't come up during the process of going through tax rate setting with DRA. And, and it was certainly falls squarely on my shoulder. There was one number on one form that I missed, that I should not have put down on that, and we should just have done it all completely off budget. So so in any case, that's where that stands. I still have to see, how we shake out at the end to see where the fund balance is, because we did have other revenues that came in that exceeded what our budgeted revenues were, and that will help fund balance as well. So it's a process, and I'm not there yet to where I can tell you what that is, but hopefully that explains what happened. It did happen one other time to a former person that was here back in 2007, I want to say, when the sewer was left off the one of the forms, but it wasn't impactful because at the same time there was a bond anticipation note for Silver Lake Road that offset almost 100% what the value of the sewer commission was at the time. So it wasn't an impactful event back then. But I've talked to DRA to see and made some suggestions. There's nothing that they change on their end. So I have thought long and hard as we switch software platforms, how I can set it up so that this plus also a process to identify, this issue and make sure that this never happens again to somebody that succeeds me, that, that it won't be impactful for the town. So hopefully that explains it. It was definitely my error, and I apologize for it. Like I said, one number on one form, and it was a big one.
All right. Thanks, Tim. Anybody have any other questions for Tim? All right. Thank you very much.
No, never mind.
Sure.
I can print out a new one.
And just so you know, it won't have any bearing on our ability to complete the bridge or any of that.
Print out a new one.
All right. Thank you, Tim.
Mhm.
Mr. Town Administrator. ready?
Aha. Okay. My report, and I just want to highlight a couple of things and talk to you about a few other things that, some follow-up stuff. But in my report, I referenced town properties, the sale, the updates, 2 outstanding. And one of them is a question that I have for the board, which was the Emerald Lane purchase and sale. We've extended that purchase until May of 26, with the understanding that there was some confusion. I came back to the board, and one of the questions raised by Selectman Dawson was, what would it cost to get a complete survey done to make this clearer and make it work out? And the question, or the answer is, as I spoke to our surveyor, Dave Krause, he said the figure would not exceed $2,000 to do a complete. And Dave was familiar with that. He's done some other work up there. So he's familiar with the questions and some of the confusion and some of the surveys and that stuff. So he felt pretty comfortably that we could pretty much provide a warranty deed after a complete follow-up survey was done. So the question to the board is, does the board want to continue in that fashion, or do we want to handle it in another way, which would be at the recommendation of our marketing agent, is let them do it and adjust the sale price? We can do that too. So
But we're giving it
don't-
away.
don't need an answer tonight. It's not paramount, but I just wanted to plant that seed to see how the board felt. These people that have agreed to buy it really want it. And they're agreeing to wait until May, if that's how long it takes. Dave did tell me he's pretty busy, but that he would jump on it, and he felt pretty comfortable that he could get it done reasonably soon. But the question is do we want to go to that expense, or do we want to just look at reducing the price and see if the purchaser wants to do that? And if not, then we go back to square one.
Well, how else do we know what we own?
Yeah,
I think we do for sure.
yeah,
I
Yeah,
would rather
good
wait.
point.
The price is 10,000. If you reduce it to $8,000, we're practically giving it away.
Mm.
So,
But we don't know what we're giving away at this point.
yeah.
Right.
There's
That's-
enough confusion there.
That's the $2 million question, right? Right. And
And he said, what, not
Yeah.
more than 2,000?
that's not to exceed 2,000 is what he told me.
I'd rather wait for the new selectmen to be seated,
That's a good idea.
Okay,
quite frankly.
yep,
That's a good
You know.
idea.
okay, absolutely. No rush, no issue.
Next meeting.
Okay. And I've detailed the other piece of property and where we are with that, and I will keep the board informed. as to
get a
what,
consensus for the rest of the board. That was just two opinions.
yeah, sorry.
I'm fine with waiting for the,
Okay.
I'm fine with waiting.
Okay, all fine with waiting? Yep. Perfect. And I have been working diligently on the other one and hope to be able to report some good facts here soon. I'm going to move along to, we do have to hold a public hearing. It has to be noticed 7 days. I did speak to Chairman Adams about it, and we were going to do it at this meeting, but unfortunately, time came up on us too quick, and it doesn't give us the notice. But the public hearing is just to have the board open it up, allow taxpayer comment in accepting the grant monies for the first clean diesel grant, and explaining to the taxpayers what that is. And but by law and by our charter here in town, the town of Tilton, acceptance is we have to do that. So with the board's permission, I'll post, I have a posting if the board would like to see it. It simply says notice of public hearing. It identifies the time, March 19th, which is the very next meeting. 6 p.m. at the Tilton Town Hall for receiving public comment concerning the acceptance and expenditure of following unanticipated revenues. These are unanticipated because they were middle of the year grant. It describes where the grant comes from, what the program is, the amount of the award, what its purpose is, a dump truck replacement program for the Tilton Department of Public Works. The requirement does not, the expenditure does not require the expenditure of other town funds except those funds lawfully appropriated for the same purpose. And that is our equipment replacement monies that are used in addition to this. So they have already been approved by the people. So if the board's good with that, I'll post it, publicly post it, website, all that good stuff. A couple of other public places, just so people know, and we can hold that hearing on the 19th.
looking for a consensus on that.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yes.
Everybody good?
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you. So, just so the board is aware, I finally got approval. As you know, our sidewalk plow damaged 272 Main Street. We did get only one estimate. I could only get one estimate because nobody was interested in bidding on something that small or that small amount. So I did get a local person, a Tilton contractor. And finally, I'd been waiting for acceptance from the property owner that he was okay with this. I did get that acceptance, and we've moved forward to do the repairs. I held a meeting at the town hall downstairs last week, just to go over, as I explained to the board I would do, go over roles, responsibilities, who was doing what, because we do have some new faces, both at Public Works and, some new people assisting with the election stuff. So Kim and Becky and I and Kevin and everybody were all on board. Our needs, as you'll see, the signs have been out for a good week now. The notices are up. Everything is in place. The food will be provided by the kitchen staff at the high school, which will be refreshments, pastries, and hot coffee. Let me refrain that, hot coffee and full-size bottles of water. We were criticized last year, but that's okay. And those will be provided for town meeting day.
Not to say we won't be criticized this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Town meeting
Yeah.
is the second Tuesday in March.
Correct,
Mhm.
correct. I'm sorry.
And we keep making it like.
Yes,
it's
you're
not.
right.
The
Right.
Yeah.
Tuesday is town meeting.
Right,
We
deliberative.
Postpone the deliberative session
Session,
till
right.
Saturday.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Excuse me, the deliberative session, you're right.
It makes me crazy.
Yeah, I know.
We noticed.
And while I'm on that note, I assured our current moderator, who will be leaving us this year, unfortunately, that I would make sure that all of you were reminded, because this is my job, to make sure that you have your proxies in place for town meeting day if you're not sitting. I do know Pat's are there. And to make sure that you've shared that with our moderator via text or email so that
Mhm.
she knows who's covering for you, where, when, and what their contact number is, if you don't mind. So
What time is set up?
set up the day before is 2:30 for us.
2:30.
Yeah,
2:30?
yeah.
And Public Works will be there.
Public Works will be there.
I'll be there.
Yeah, the school will be there. We're only getting half the gym because there's a game that night.
That'll be
but-
plenty.
But they're going
Yeah.
to, the curtain will be open.
Yeah, curtain will be open.
Okay,
Yeah,
they're just not
yeah.
gonna tape the other side,
correct. Yeah.
paper it.
Right.
Okay, that'll
So,
work.
Anyway, so I have done my due diligence. I would like you to, if you haven't looked at my report, just to see that I did move in on some things that we'll be talking about later, like the second clean diesel grant. Some of my thoughts and Tim's as we sat down to talk about some of our assignments for 2026 spring after town meeting. Once we get by that, we'll be good. A older issue that was brought up with a question was Selectman Dawson had referred to years ago, there was an ability, even before we joined the Lakes Region Planning Commission's hazardous waste program, there was an ability for our citizens and citizens within the region, Lakes Region Planning Commission region, to bring things to certain locations. I didn't recall that, but I did do the research and Lakes Region Planning got back to me. That was in fact in Wolfboro. Our citizens could do it at the time and then they charged the citizen there for it. Unfortunately, there were two, Wolfboro and Moultonboro, that did it. And since that time, those two have joined the consortium that we're in, the paid consortium, and they no longer do that. So we will not put it on the website because it's no longer available to our citizens. So our DPW director says road postings will be going up on March 9th. Weight limits on the town roads. As many of you know, especially those who happen to travel Caleb Hill, which I've been getting a lot of complaints about. The frost heaves are terrible. And
Faster as well.
yeah, and so we're doing the best that we can, but Kevin wants to get the roads posted before they get any further damaged.
It's
Than that.
pothole season here in New Hampshire.
Yeah,
So
it is.
all the roads kind of have that very same issue.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep, exactly. So, in the red folder, I believe, is a lien
Stay
release,
down there.
is a lien release on a piece of property at 9 Range Road. The person's name is, Valerie, right? Valori, Valurie. That person has since passed away. We had a lien on that property many, many years ago for some public assistance monies that were done, and that that person has since passed. The lien was paid back,
Mhm.
and we did not at that time execute a deed a lien
Lease,
release.
right.
So that's what's in front of you, so that we can do that, so their estate can close that. I spoke to Chairman Adams about, I had a request from the Pines Community Center has hired or employed the services of an assistant to do some grant writing and policy stuff for them. That person is well known to me. I worked with that person in county government for a number of years. But the Pines is looking for congressional discretionary grant award to do a makeover of the existing building. And I did provide that in an email to you, what basically it entertained in repairs to the building. One of them being a update of the HVAC system, which, as we know with the library, is very costly. So I was asked to provide a letter of support from the town of Tilton on the importance of the community center being part of the Tilton community as well. It's physically located in Northfield. However, it has housed many programs for citizens from both communities, just like the library and other mutual interests that we have. The chairman asked me to provide a letter after getting the board's approval. And I do have, did I send you each a copy of the letter?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And so this is due March 6th, tomorrow. And with the board's vote and authorization, I would provide that letter to the grant writer to submit. There is no financial commitment on the taxpayers and or the town of Tilton. It's totally discretionary. It's either a yes or a no. Kind of different than some of the grants we've seen in the past. So, but I did feel that, the Pines is looking forward to the future and fixing up the building and bringing things up to date. I don't know about any of you, but if you haven't been in there lately, it's really in need of some updating. So,
I'll make a motion that we allow our town administrator to write a letter of support for the Pines Community Center for the grant that they're going after for their building.
I'll second that. Any discussion?
Didn't I see a letter that they wanted you to sign rather than a letter for you to compose?
I know they asked for a letter from me to compose.
Oh.
The letter you saw for them to sign is the next one I'm going to talk about.
Oh. That's
That came in
that's
at
the rest of the story?
that came in at 3:00. So
Okay.
literally today. So
I didn't see that.
I
yeah. Oh, you didn't? I think it went out via email.
I didn't see
No,
that.
you didn't see it.
looked at it.
Okay. All right.
All right.
I'll give you a copy of it. So
Any other discussion? All right, roll call vote.
Constantino, yes.
Hanson, yes?
Jessamine, yes.
Dawson, yes.
Adams, yes.
thank you, board members. And the second one that came in at 3:00 this afternoon, I think is chasing the same grant money. And I'm only saying that because I apologize, I didn't get a chance to research it, but it does relate to the same discretionary grant program that asked specific wording and asked for support from the Board of Selectmen from the town of Tilton to allow discretionary funds, no taxpayer dollars, for grant monies to repair and replace the HVAC system, and fund additional programming at the library. And it's basically to modernize some of the space with structural digitizing, which is what they're doing with their books, I guess, and additive of manufacturing classes, adding a manufacturing class.
I'll
the-
make that motion.
Okay.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, roll call vote.
Constantino, yes.
Hanson, yes.
Jessamine, yes.
Dawson, yes.
Adams, yes.
Thank you. I'll bring the letter up for your signatures and feel free to read it.
Scott, I can probably stop in on Monday
Okay.
and sign it if you need me to.
Okay.
Is it due tomorrow as well as?
That's due tomorrow as well. Sorry.
All right, that's okay. Then we got enough votes anyways to sign it.
Yeah, there'll be 4, so
Yep.
that'll be sufficient. And for me, that is it.
Is this Pines or is this the library?
That's the library.
This is the
The
library.
the pines I will sign. That's
But it's the same people that are doing both, correct?
uh,
The
same money, same monies. The Pines has a grant writer
Okay,
that is doing theirs.
and the library's doing their own
They're
grant
doing their
writing.
own. Yep.
Different.
All right, anything else for Scott? All right, thanks.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Scott.
We're a little ahead of schedule. Do we want to go into selectmen's reports?
Yeah, if you.
All right. Selectman Jessamine, you're up first.
Excellent. I don't have a report per se, but I will say that this is the end of my tenure here on the Board of Selectmen, this time. And I'm really glad that I got to be able to do it. And I'm looking forward to town meeting. It's my favorite day of the year. Please come out and vote. And please attend the deliberative session. It's your money. And that's where you get the chance on how it's spent.
That's right.
And that's it.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Selectman
Joe.
Constantino.
Yeah.
Joe, thanks for stepping in. Much appreciated. I have a couple of things. The senior center is doing a fundraiser and would like permission to sit outside the deliberative session Saturday, outside the doors of the deliberative session, to set up a table to sell their tickets.
Wouldn't
I
that
was-
be a moderator question?
No, that's
No?
a selectman's question.
I would say yeah.
I think it's both, but I'm sure the moderator would say as long as it's up away from the in and outdoor.
Yeah,
It's-
yeah, I know right where they
It's,
set it up.
you know where they
Yes.
set it up. All right.
I'm fine.
I do. Well, it's mostly a statement, but I will say this because Joe's here and Joe and I kind of go tail to tail. When we were running for selectmen, we filled the halls way before we were running for selectmen to find out what was going on. I'm really disappointed not to see candidates in the hallway to find out what's going on next week when they sit behind this table. I'm really disappointed in that. But I am very excited to see a write-in candidate, and I can't tell you how many phone calls. I don't know anybody else here that have gotten
Who
phone calls.
is?
Who is Chet?
Who
So-
is?
So Chet, for the record, can you just go up to the kiosk and just let them see your face?
Who's putting up all those signs all over
Who's
the
putting
town?
up the signs for write-in? Just say, that's Chet Berger.
Chet Berger. I've been a resident of Tilton since 2020. I'm a retired engineer, and I am running as a write-in candidate for
There you
town
go.
moderator.
Thank you.
And I'm a technocrat, and
There you go.
so I think that my kind of skills would match the requirements for the job.
So just a quick question.
Sure.
Why didn't you sign up?
I didn't know about it until the Friday, which was the final date. And I got a call, and I was driving in Windsor in a snowstorm.
Well, shame on us
An
Yeah.
hour and a half.
that we don't make
It's
that more,
Here 10 minutes, a
more
little
out
bit
there.
later than normal.
Yeah.
It was shut off and then it was too late,
Yeah,
right?
it was too late.
Yep.
Yeah.
But thank
Yeah.
you for stepping up.
Excuse me?
I said, thank you for
Thank you for
stepping up.
stepping up. We appreciate it. And now
We'll see what happens.
anybody that watches the tape, we can now know who Chet Berger is.
Right, yes.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Nice to see
And
you.
it's not spelt like your hamburger.
No, it's not. You're right. It's a B-I-R. Right.
And I will let the board know that Chet's been very diligent about coming in, asking about campaigning at like the transfer station and placing out signs and doing things legally and appropriately. So
Hmm. Okay. Well, this
I
wasn't,
had a question. Why are we running a plug for an independent candidate for town position?
well, I was just going to say this was not an electioneering session. I was just trying to make a point that I'm looking out there and I don't see, there's three other people that are on for selectmen and neither of them are here. And yet, 6 months to a year, we sat and waited and waited and waited and waited, and then we signed up to be a selectman.
Well, I've said the same
Times are
thing for
different, Joe.
years
Times
past.
are different.
People
So it
don't
was
come
not
to
meant for
meetings.
electioneering session at all. It's just that
Okay,
I just did not wanted to make a point here that we have people that are running for selectmen that don't want to be here. Okay,
That is an interesting question now.
it is.
I have
I
to
don't
look it
know.
up.
I came to every meeting for a year before I ran for selectman, just so I'd know what was going on.
Yes, you did.
Whoever gets elected to this particular seat has got a rude awakening.
And then I think we tried to ask them for every committee going along that was open in that year, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
But
we
I think
did.
this was more as who put up those signs.
Exactly.
yes, that's what that was. Yeah.
I
I
can't,
wondered the same thing.
And he is a Tilton resident. So
yeah,
I did tell him that under the public comment
doesn't matter. I can't
section,
tell
he
you
was
how many
allowed to
phone
speak.
calls. Right,
So
doesn't matter. All right.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I got.
All right,
Thank you.
Selectman Dawson.
Oh, okay. The bridge. Undoubtedly at town meeting, at the deliberative session of town meeting, we're going to be asked about the bridge. I mean, I'm being asked now, when are we getting it back? How's the financing? Have they found anything more wrong with it? Is it going to be out? I mean, I can't tell you the questions I'm getting. And I have to say, the financing is fine, but the rest of it, I go, I don't know. This year, I think, could we have some sort of blurb
Yeah.
that's going to answer
Yep.
that?
for the town meeting, yeah.
We have some
Yeah.
pictures as well of the progress that it's undergoing right now. And
And I'm
And-
wondering if we shouldn't put it in some sort of format that it could actually be on a table that people could pick up
Mhm.
we could,
and
that can be done.
instead of wasting time during the
Yep.
deliberative session, they'd have that information readily available.
That can be done. Yep.
I just
Not a
think
problem.
it's going to be.
Good thought.
Yeah, just so the board knows, the process with this has been, well, the presidential election jumped into play early on. Everything got held up. Doge came into play, and that's Tim has been very diligent about keeping a sense of communication, and we keep getting updates as to who is in charge of this phase, because we're at phase 2.
Yeah, they had a National Park Service and Department of Interior that is over this, had a big reorganization at one point and basically sent out an email that said, pardon our dust. You'll hear from us when the dust settles and we'll let you know who your new people are. And so there were some delays along the way, and the plan that AM Groton put into place to get approved, because everything has to be pre-approved before the work is done. And then once it's approved and they do the work, we have to get pre-authorization to pay them. And there's all these multiple steps that go on in this process. But in any event, the November plan that they came up with was finally approved about, and it was in my last report, I think on the February 19th, that it was approved. And it just took forever to get, because it has to go through a technical review process because of the historic nature of the bridge. And it came down to the issues of the color of the bridge as well. So that's still, but in any case, this second phase is the phase where they're doing the actual restoration and repair and rebuilding of the bridge. And then the third phase, which I believe we've been successful in getting the National Park Service to accept, the third phase will be one phase, which will be the transportation reinstallation of the bridge. So hopefully that'll be the extent of it. There are other things that we have to do during this, and I'll make sure we put it in the flyer. But we have to provide a 20-year easement to the National Park Service for the bridge, and technical things like that really don't impact the town negatively at all. So
Are we on schedule to get it back this year?
Yes.
I think it's.
I haven't
I think
found
it's-
any.
Yeah. No, there's nothing.
No.
No surprises.
No,
Nope.
and I think it's going pretty well.
Yeah.
We just got to make sure for the National Park Service's purpose that we still have the cart behind the horse, publicly and technically.
Yeah.
So
Right.
anyway, I think we're in good shape.
The bridge is going to be white, is that correct?
That is my understanding, yes,
Going to be
because it was
white?
originally,
That's what it was originally.
it was
the
originally
original
white.
color.
Well, that's what it was when it was first put in, but not in our time.
But
Right.
that's what it has to
And-
go back to.
The reason it was,
Historical preservation
Right.
grant. They
That's interesting.
yeah,
Well, we better put that in it.
it was white so that it could stand out and be seen.
And it does. We've seen the
I've seen
replica.
the picture.
For all the
Yeah.
barges that go
Yeah.
up and down the river?
Well,
You mean the tube regatta?
And lastly, our solar crosswalk lights, are they going to be installed for this year?
Well, we are hoping to. I haven't had a conversation with Kevin as of late, but he was the last talk we had, he was working on a more reasonable figure to get them standardized so that they're acceptable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, my understanding is we don't have to change them if we put them on town road.
That's correct. That's correct. Yep.
And we do have a couple.
we should use those. We
Yeah.
need.
Yes, oh, yes,
Yeah.
but we have a couple of town roads we could put them on.
Yeah.
Right. We do. We have a plan and then a alternative plan as
Okay.
well. Yep.
All right,
Yeah.
I'm good. Thank you.
Yep.
All right, Selectman Constantino had one more thing.
I fail to just mention one thing, and I'm deeply, deeply grateful and honored for the dedication to the annual report. Thank you. All those.
Well earned.
Appreciate it.
Well earned.
Thank you.
Good, sir.
All right, I had that same thing to congratulate Pat on her dedication.
Thank you.
And also I want to thank Tim and Scott, Chief, and all the department heads for all their work putting that together. I know it's a huge undertaking to getting all that put together by the timeline and getting it out for our citizens. So I appreciate that.
Tim carried the
Yep.
heavy ball on that.
Good has.
And also I have here to thank Joe for stepping in to help us out.
Yep.
Fill that for the rest of the season.
Call me the next time.
Yeah.
We'll call you Joe the fill-in.
Right.
And that's all I had. Selectman Adams?
So John, you pretty much took everything that I was going to say.
Yeah.
So congratulations to Pat
Thank you.
and Joe. It was definitely a real pleasure working with you again. And I know I'll definitely see you around town. So, thank you
It's only
again.
a town meeting.
Yes. Yep, definitely. So yeah, that was all I had. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Excellent. Mr. Chairman, we are obviously ahead of schedule, which is a good thing. I had, Chet was going to speak, but he already has. So public comments I put after non-public, but I did see we had people online. So I don't know if you want
Wanna move
to,
that first? We can
I
move
don't
that
know
up.
if you want to do public comments. If
Are we good with
somebody
that?
online would like to speak before we go into non-public session.
Are we good? Moving that ahead?
I'm good.
Everybody
Move
good?
it.
That's fine.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right. We'll open up the comments for our public. If anybody has anything here in the gallery or online.
Wave your hand if you got a question online. Nope.
They can wave their hand.
Oh, yeah.
They have a
Raise
little
your
hand.
The
there,
little
yeah.
hand
There's
comes up.
really a
Yeah.
little hand.
Yeah.
Me,
Yeah.
pick me, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. Oh, it's down there in the left-hand corner. See, right above react on the thing.
Bottom
Yeah.
left.
Oh, I
Yeah,
see
that's
it.
our hand.
That's
Yeah,
our
right.
hand.
But theirs is the same. So,
That's hilarious.
yeah. Okay, I guess no public comments.
Where we have no public comments, I'll make a motion that we move into a non-public session
Good to see you.
per RSA 91-A:3
It was nice to meet you.
to A, the dismissal, promotion, or compensation of any public employee or the disciplining of such employee or the investigation of any charges against him or her, unless the employee affected has a right to a public meeting and requests that meeting be in open, which in case the request shall be granted. And per RSA 91-A:3 to B, the hiring of any person as a public employee. Can I get a
Second. Constantino, second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Constantino, yes.
Hanson, yes.
Jessamine, yes.
Dawson, yes.
Adams, yes.
Okay, 1 second.
Make a motion, we seal the minutes of the non-public as they pertain to personnel permanently.
Second. Discussion.
Motion made at 6:20 PM.
Roll call vote.
Constantino, yes.
Hanson, yes.
Jessamine, yes.
Dawson, yes.
Adams, yes.
Very good. All right. Joe?
You actually have somebody on the line that might want to say
Oh,
something.
yes, we do.
Somebody joined us.
Yeah,
We good on there?
yeah.
All right.
No, good.
Okay.
Any public comments? Although we have that. All right.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Discussion.
Motion time,
Yippee.
6:21 PM.
Constantino, yes.
Yes.
Then yes.
Dawson, yes.
Adams,
Good night.
Adams, no. No, Adams, yes.
See you Tuesday.
all
Make
right.
sure you're there, Eric. Enjoy.
I will be there. I'll see y'all Tuesday.
Enjoy the rest of your
Have
vacation.
fun, Eric.